I cannot overstate how opposed I am to taking American troops out of Afghanistan. I'm opposed on every possible level. I don't know a single valid argument for keeping American troops there. Approximately in the last 5 years, we have averaged losing 20 servicemen or women in a year. Every one of them is a precious loss. But in terms of the efficacy of what we are doing, keeping some semblance of peace, protecting vast numbers of people from torture, death, basically mental imprisonment, total loss of freedom, and massive rape of women and boys. By the way, they have a particular attraction to young boys, not just women. Do we have a moral role to play in the world or not? So you'll say, well, who appointed us? Two groups appointed us: the Afghans and the Americans. That's enough for me. I assure you that in Germany, they don't have a debate on whether to protect Afghans, or in France, or in Belgium, or in any other country. It's not perplexing the Uruguayan parliament. Should we help protect the Afghans from the Taliban? It's not disturbing the Canadians, to the best of my knowledge. I am proud of the fact that it disturbs Americans. It's a bad, bad, bad idea to leave Afghanistan. The terminology used, these cliches, crack me up. Well, there's no exit strategy. You can't go in if you don't have an exit strategy. There's only one exit strategy in war. You leave when you win. That's the only exit strategy I know of. Such a bizarre thing. We don't have an exit strategy. Oh, we can't stay there forever. Why not? Where is the rule that you can't stay there forever? We stayed in Germany forever since World War II, 1945. It's a long time ago. 55 and 21, 76 years ago. The speed of that mathematical computation has me dazzled. But only me, I must admit. I don't think anybody else was. And how long are we in South Korea? Since what, 1953? Also 47 and 21. That's 70, 60, 68 years. American troops should get the Nobel Peace Prize. If they actually gave the prize to those who deserve it, they would give it to the United States military. Greatest force of peace on earth. When I read this headline and I think that all that will happen, you remember? Well, who remembers? History isn't taught any longer because the left has taken over education. What percentage of Harvard juniors do you think have, or I love, rising seniors? It's a new term. What percentage of Harvard rising seniors can identify Pol Pot? They're well aware of systemic racism. And needless to say, they all know George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. But they can't identify Pol Pot. Yeah, that was the 1970s. Yeah, it's prehistory. Pol Pot was a communist, studied at the Sorbonne, by the way, in Paris. Nothing like a college education to make you a despicable human being. And went back to Cambodia, took over, slaughtered between a quarter and a third of his own people. It was auto-genocide. Do we have another example of auto-genocide? Well, yeah, Mao. Yeah, communists do that. It's interesting. Communists engage in auto-genocide. They slaughter their own in massive numbers. That's correct. Hitler defined the other as the other, and that was not the case. He didn't slaughter Aryans. But the communists slaughter their own, and Pol Pot did that. That's what you're going to have in Afghanistan, killing fields, massive slaughter. Our leaving Afghanistan tells people, if you align with the United States, screw you, baby. We're leaving you. So you think people think, I don't know, do I want to align with China or the United States? Yeah, United States. The American people don't have patience. That's what it will. That's what it will think. So writing my column this week, and it is precisely on this. You know, I hate to ask this question, but how many people are bothered by this headline? Bombing outside Afghan school kills at least 50 with girls as targets. It bothers me. Powerful explosions outside a high school in Afghanistan's capital on Saturday killed at least 50 people and wounded scores more, many of them teenage girls leaving class, in a gruesome attack that underscored fears about the nation's future after the impending American troop withdrawal. The blast and the targeting of girls as they left the Syed ul Shuhada High School. Do you, by the way, do you reflect on the monstrosity of the evil of the people who do this? You know why they do it. They don't think girls should get an education. Is there any parallel to this? I mean, obviously not all Muslims think this way. Nobody thinks that, and nobody says that. But there are no Christians who think this way. There are no Jews who think this way. There are no Buddhists who think this way. There are no Hindus who think this way. That if a girl goes to school, you murder her. How did this develop? This is a friendly, provocative, admittedly challenge to Muslim listeners. Why does this happen in your religion? Now, you could say it's perverting the religion. That's fair. But it's not. These perverts don't exist in other religions. We'll be back.
Dennis Prager Show.